Hello and welcome. I am Scrubberlock, and this is City of Villains on the Rebirth server with Nightmare Lass, our level 14 Mastermind, who has 35,000 XP so far, 8,000 to go to get to level 15, and over 45 million infamy thanks to our Sugar Mommy, who is Tiger Shrike, our previous character. We're in supergroup mode with the one-man supergroup, one-woman supergroup. Emissaries of Evil, it's our supergroup. And we're doing missions for the radio. Now, what I had tried to do was get some more newspaper missions here in Port Oaks, but it says that they are beneath our notice. So it looks like we're done with this zone. But before we finish, I want to work on the radio since he looks like he's got another story arc for me. So I'm going to try one mission. If it begins a story arc, we'll continue with it. If it doesn't, we'll move on to Capo Diablo. So it says, blasting through the airwaves like a hammer to the skull, it's radio, radio, radio free opportunity coming to you live from who knows where. We have the lowdown on the down low, all just for you, our listeners. Speaking of secrets, we've heard here at the station that the cabal of mystics with an overactive sense of justice, you know as the Legacy Chain, are going to be holding induction ceremonies for their newest members in some offices here in Port Oaks. Well, I'm sure everyone in the Rogue Isles wishes them the best and hopes that their little induction of new would-be champions of righteousness isn't crashed by any of the bad guys out there. Isn't that right, all of you bad guys listening? Oh, and I should probably mention that we've heard these ceremonies involve some pretty valuable stuff. I just hope nothing bad happens, and that's what we call a hint, ladies and gentlemen. So, we're going to go ahead and take this tip. I don't know if it's going to lead to a story arc, but we'll give it a try. It's not far away. Go ahead and put our stealth back on. We do not need invisibility for this, because we're not going to be trying to sneak through the mission. So our goal is to bust up the Legacy Chain initiation. So we'll try a mission or two from the radio. If it doesn't give us a new story arc, then I'm going to move on to Cap au Diable. However you say that. I don't know. I don't know anything about how to pronounce French. Nor do I care to learn it. Alright, in we go. And now it's time to summon our little pet monkeys. Eenie and Meanie. And Mo, our big gorilla. I just love that animation where he just bursts through the floor. That's just awesome. And we will buff them up. They're on defensive mode, and we will head in. And we're in supergroup mode, and somebody had mentioned putting pet healing. Yeah, we have pet healing on there, so now we can see who's doing the healing. So somebody mentioned that in the comments, so thanks to whoever said that. I don't remember. I'm not looking at YouTube right now, so I don't recall, but thanks for that help. It's great. I'll check it the next time the healing happens and see who's doing it. Our pets are doing great. They especially do great when these guys don't aggro correctly. And so we have 3 things to steal and to defeat the initiation boss. It's just amazing how fast these guys blow things away. And our lieutenant hasn't even really been enhanced yet. I think I'm going to put a damage on him, but obviously we want to do 3 resistances so that he can stand up to things. Let's AoE heal. And there is a glowy. So that's one of the things we've got to steal, it looks like. These guys are doing great. So we stole one thing. Looks like we got a double spawn here. So these guys are gonna do a little damage to my guys, but we're doing alright. And you can see that they do quite well. As long as I pay attention to the healing, we're in pretty good shape. And are we being ambushed? It looks like we might be. Let's gangbang this guy. Takes care of him. Wow, we have a lot of enhancements we can sell. Sometimes there's a glowy in this room, but it doesn't seem like it, so we'll head back out. Yeah, it's interesting. Last episode I mentioned that that there used to be a lot of acrimony between players who primarily played characters of certain archetypes. In particular, there was often a lot of grumbling between the melee characters and the ranged characters, and between especially tankers and scrappers versus blasters. And, you know, again, it was sort of interesting that people saw themselves as a particular archetype. I'm a blaster, they would say, and I would try to say to them, you know, no, you're not. You're playing a blaster, but you don't have to like take it personally when people make some critical comment about the way the blaster archetype, for instance, is set up or designed or what have you. You are not personally a blaster, right? You just play one on TV, right? And so, but that happened a lot, and in fact, as a result, there were often a lot of fighting on the forums. And early on, people used to call COH City of Blasters because there were so many people playing blasters. Nearly everyone was playing ranged characters. I remember on my supergroup, it was a matter of, like, it was me and one other guy who had scrappers as our main characters. And then it was, I had a tanker alt. There was one person, one player. She had a scrapper and a tanker alt that she played occasionally, but not very often. What did I miss here? There's got to be another elevator somewhere. And so she didn't play those characters that often, and that was it. I mean, I was literally the only one who played a tanker, and that was my second character. So she was lower level than everybody else. And I played a scrapper, and there was a guy named Fiend Hunter who was super awesome, and he played a scrapper as our mains, and we were pretty much the only melee characters that were played regularly on the supergroup. Everybody else was playing blasters. There was like maybe 2 or 3 defenders. There were a couple of controllers, and everybody else was playing blasters. And yeah, it was quite interesting, the dynamic, because they all had this very sort of aggressive, let's just go in and pound everything, and then they would just get hammered as we got into higher levels because they didn't have mez defense and stuff like that. But anyway, it wasn't just my supergroup that was like that. It was called City of Blasters for a reason, and there were a lot fewer people who primarily played scrappers than primarily played blasters, defenders, and controllers. And as a result, there were a lot fewer players on the forums in like the Scrapper forum and the Tanker forum. If you looked at like the number of posts, there were a lot lower. And oftentimes, those of us who played the melee characters felt wildly. Yes, he just did a heal, Mo. I just saw it. We felt wildly outnumbered. And I remember getting invited. I was mostly on the Scrapper forum, and I mostly wrote as someone who primarily plays melee and especially Scrappers, and I had that in my signature. And but I didn't used to try to identify as like I am a Scrapper. I would say more like things that I play Scrappers primarily, and here are the things that drive us nuts and so forth. And so they actually were a few of the tanker players who a few of the players who mostly played tankers. And this is the guy we got to beat, I guess. They had created a private forum, not on the City of Heroes forums, but one of them had created his own forum on his own website, and that I will just simply call the Private Tanker Forum. And these guys used to have their sort of game discussions about things like, problems dealing with people playing their blasters incorrectly and stuff like that. They would have these discussions mainly on this private forum because they knew if they tried to have the discussion, if they tried to say the things that they were saying in public on the regular City of Heroes forum, they would just get absolutely flamed into oblivion and be completely overwhelmed by all the by the majority of players, because there were so many more blasters and controllers and defenders, people playing those characters, than there were people playing tankers and scrappers. Not just because it was 3ATs, but because it was those were the more popular archetypes to play. And so I remember we felt unsafe to like make an honest post about here's the problem that blasters are bringing to the table from the viewpoint of a scrapper. Just sort of an honest post about here's what I need you guys to do if you want to make my job easier, that kind of thing. You would just get flamed. So we felt like we had to go to a private forum to have any meaningful discussions with each other about the way the game works, the game mechanics, the how to enhance powers as a tanker, even that kind of stuff. We felt like we needed to do it privately. That's how much acrimony there was between the ranged character types and the melee character types, the players who mainly played melee versus those who mainly played ranged. There was a lot of acrimony. Again, so much so that those of us who really mainly focused on melee felt like we needed a private forum that only we could get to because we were going to get flamed just for quote-unquote being a scrapper. If you went into the general forum and identified as a scrapper and made any disagreements at all with a blaster, you'd get dogpiled. And this was very early on, right, during the first year. And I then stayed on that forum, the private tanker forum, for years, long after most of us stopped playing City of Heroes. We talked about comic books, we talked about other video games. I was on that forum for like 7 years, long after I stopped playing City of Heroes, and I made a lot of really good friends. And I wish I still had some way to get in touch with them, because I would love to contact these guys. There were 3 or 4 in particular that I really enjoyed hanging out with, and see if they want to play together on City of Heroes now that there's no more acrimony, there's no more complaining. Everybody's played all different archetypes by now. It's not like in launch where you were to pick one character and grind it to 50 because it took so long to do. Now it's you can just do whatever you want, and everything's much easier to do, and everybody's played all the different archetypes by now. So that kind of acrimony among the different character classes doesn't exist anymore as far as I know. And it'd probably be a lot of fun to do stuff with those guys, but I don't know how to even get in touch with them anymore, which is kind of a shame. So we tune into the radio and it says, it's the love song for your heart of darkness. It's radio free opportunity. I've got a bit of news for you black masks out in the Rogue Isles. If you were thinking of pouring some weed killer on the next crop of Legacy Chain initiates, you should have set your alarm clock for yesterday. It looks like Nightmare Lass beat you all to the punch, which is spiked. Thank you very much. Nightmare Lass, if you're listening, keep it up. You are proof that good things happen to bad people who listen to radio free opportunity. So we're not on a story arc here, guys. And I guess it may be time to move to the cap and just get started with our context there. I'll take a broker mission, a newspaper mission there. And I was hoping to get into a story arc right away with the radio, but we haven't, and I don't know if it has another one. So I guess it's time to move on. So we're going to head to the ferry. Yeah, one of my problems with the villain zones is I played City of Villains so long ago and so little that unlike City of Heroes, where I know exactly the levels of each zone and exactly when to move to the next zone, I never can remember that in City of Villains. It says it right on the ferry now, too. So Cap au Diable goes from level 8, right? So we're above the levels. Level 12 is max for this zone, so it goes from level 8 to level 20. I guess we need to get in there and start working. So let's take a newspaper mission. I'll show you one, and then I'm going to do the rest of them off screen until we get our broker, and then I'll bring you back for that in a day or two when I'm ready to get another contact. But let's start with a newspaper. So, Nightmare Lass on a Rampage. It's nice to make the news, but Jake Limes, reporter for WSPDR, is getting on my nerves. He's making up lies about me. I'm selling secrets to the longbow. Alright, I want to try this character against Circle of Thorns. They are so horrible as a superhero. But I wonder with these guys, and the fact that they're not doing lethal and smashing damage, they're doing fire and ice. Like, I can actually literally fight fire with fire and ice with ice against the Circle. And let's give them a taste of their own mystical medicine, because my character is magical. We might even grab a couple of dual origin magic enhancements. Yeah, we're pretty full here. Alright. Where are we going here? We're going underneath, it looks like. There we go. Let's see how this character does compared to Silver Phoenix and Tiger Strike, who are doing smashing and lethal, which the Circle spirits are all resistant to. Circle has demons. My demons are going to be tougher, stronger, smarter, and better controlled. We won't be fighting Circle demons yet. They usually come up after level 20, 25, like the behemoths and stuff. But Eeny, Meeny, and Mo are going to be kicking butt and taking names against the Circle. So we need to defeat Mesanis and his guards. I don't even see anybody yet. Archer, Spectral Demon Lord. Okay, guys, let's take him out. Alright. Go get him. Man, he's not even doing anything to my guys. I guess he's debuffing them. Is he afraid? Screw you, Circle. More Spectrals. So my guys should be doing pretty much full damage to them. I don't think they have any resistance to fire and ice. I don't know what's with the aggro here. These guys should be aggroing against me when we start our attacks, but sometimes they're just not. Oh, better help Meanie. This character has a bunch of free tailor sessions. I guess I could make a sewer costume for her as well. Although she's wearing, you know, pretty much a leather suit, so hopefully she's not getting too much filth on her through the leather. Oh, there's a hordeling in here. I forgot all about those guys. They disappear after after like level 20. They're sort of like, I don't know, some kind of abominations. Alright, let's go get the Demon Lord. Or whatever, yeah. I control demons better than that are more powerful than you, jerk. I want to say to the circle, you think that's a demon? No. This is a demon. uh, yeah, it's just AI and computer programs, but I so love getting the villains, like, making the villains be hoisted on their own petard. It's fun to do. Okay, guys, stay right here. No, no, no. I don't want you chasing him. Okay, that's fine. I thought he was going to go running all over the base. And I didn't want them chasing him. But it's fine to just shoot him back there. You guys coming? I do wish it would put like little blue or something arrows on the map so I knew they were following me. You guys need to go back to defensive. I don't know how they switched to aggressive there. Because they didn't really do anything to make them switch. Alright. The boss should be back here somewhere. This is usually the main room. Mo's taking a little pounding here. Help him out. Not bad. These guys are doing really well. Energy Mage. Alright, so you gotta watch for him because he'll blow himself up. It's probably okay if Mo is up there. I just don't want Meanie up there. Yeah, I don't really want Meanie up there. Oh! We got a spectral follower over there. Well, they took out the energy mage. Again, my magic is more powerful than your magic. And there is the boss, or lieutenant, I guess. Yeah, so now they're going to start getting mezzed, I would guess. But fortunately, he's just a lieutenant. So he can't really stand up to them. And we got an enhancement and completed the mission. Yeah, these guys are awesome. I am having an absolute blast with my demons. Especially fighting against other demons with my demons, and mine are more powerful. That is awesome. So if we look at the broker, we've done a little bit. We need to do some more. But this mission's getting close to half an hour, so I think I'm going to stop here, guys. I will off-screen fill the broker up, and I guess I'll do a mayhem mission off-screen. I don't think you guys need to see another one. And then when Boris gives us another contact, I'll bring it back, and we'll do our next contact and our next story arc. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Villains on Rebirth.